I put this video up at the very beginning of last season, of the off season, when the season first ended. I said, you go and get this girl to play the 4, and she is showing serious interest in joining the Indiana Fever, and that is one Azurá Stevens, as she took to social media and she posted this. She said, ha, ha, ha. Azurá, come on, girl. Come on, girl. We want you in Indiana. You talk about the perfect.
Look at that reaction. That's not just normal interest, that's a true fan who finally got the news he's been waiting for all off-season. And he has a good reason to be excited, because this could completely change the Indiana Fever's chances of winning a championship. While Angel Reese was getting attention for joining the Atlanta Dream with Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard, the Fever also got some big news. Azurá Stevens, a 6 feet 6 inches forward who made 38% of her three-point shots last season, posted on social media with laughing emojis and a clear hint aimed at Indiana. This wasn't subtle at all, it looked like she was clearly showing where she wants to go.
All offensively, and she doesn't need to be the primary option. She don't need to be the number 2 option. She don't even need to be the number 3 option. You know why? Because she was none of those things with the LA Sparks. And by the way, for the people that are like, oh, well, the Sparks will probably keep, it's a 0%. She's not going back to LA. They're keeping Cameron Brink. You drafted Cameron Brink that high, what, number 2 overall? You didn't draft her number 2 overall to be bringing her off the bench, okay? They're going to be rolling with Rakia Jackson, Kelsey Plum, Cameron Brink, and De'Erica Hamby, okay? So that leaves
Azurá Stevens isn't just another player, she is exactly the type of player this team has been missing since Caitlin Clark arrived. Last season, the Fever's biggest problem wasn't talent, it was spacing on the court. When Caitlin Clark runs a pick-and-roll with Aaliyah Boston, the floor needs to be open. The team needs shooters who can stay on the outside and punish defenders who try to help. Natasha Howard only made 27% of her three-point shots last season. That's not good spacing, it actually makes things worse. Defenders don't guard her closely, which clogs the paint, blocks driving lanes, and makes it harder for Clark and Boston to score. Azurá Stevens, on the other hand, shot 38% from three-point range with the LA Sparks, taking about 2.4 shots per game. The key point is this: she wasn't even a main scorer on her team. She was the 3rd or 4th option behind other players, but still played well. That shows she can be effective without needing the ball a lot.
This is a seamless fit, putting Azurá Stevens on the Indiana Fever. It is a seamless fit, man. I'm telling you, this is the perfect situation for Azurá Stevens. And this here is courtesy of Sports Illustrated, where they talked about Azurá Stevens being one of the best fits for the Indiana Fever. Here it says, Stevens made it through the expansion draft without hearing her name called, and could quickly find herself at the center of one of the few bidding wars that will actually take place in free agency.
Sports Illustrated didn't just casually mention Stevens, they said she is one of the top targets in the whole free agency class. And her stats prove WHY.in 2024, she averaged 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block per game. Those are strong starter-level numbers, especially on a Sparks team that didn't even have a winning record, but what really makes her stand out is how much her shooting has improved. 3 years ago, she shot 28% from 3. Last season, she shot 38%. That's not luck, that shows she worked hard to completely improve her offensive game to match today's WNBA style. She added important shots like corner threes, pick-and-pop shots, and transition threes, the exact kinds of shots Caitlin Clark creates for her teammates. Her defense is just as important. At 6 feet 6 inches with a 7-foot wingspan, Stevens can guard multiple positions, help protect the rim, and rebound well. She's not a top-level shot blocker, but she doesn't need to be. That's Aaliyah Boston's job. Stevens just needs to be able to defend on the perimeter and use her length to challenge shots inside, which she can do well.
Azurá Stevens that can space the floor. Listen, Indiana Fever, I think you need to offer a competitive amount. But that's the whole thing with this Kelsey thing. She gonna eat up so much money. Will you be able to get a Azurá and bring back Sophie and Lexi and will you be able to do all of that? I don't know, but we need to make a legitimate competitive offer for Azurá Stevens. I'm telling you that right now. Okay, it says 6'6", A forward who can offer some rim protection, switch onto perimeter players, crash the boards, and space the floor could be a difference maker for several teams. Fever.
Indiana Fever need a player like Azura Stevens, a power forward who can shoot and create space on the court. The team should offer her a strong, competitive contract. But there's a problem. Paying Kelsey Mitchell a big salary might take up a lot of money. So the question is, can they afford Stevens and also bring back players like Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull? That's not clear. Still, Stevens should be a top priority. At 6 feet 6 inches, Stevens can protect the rim a bit, guard players on the perimeter, grab rebounds, and stretch the floor with her shooting. A player like this can make a big difference for many teams, including Indiana. Now, look at what happened in the expansion draft. It shows her value. Teams like Golden State and Toronto didn't pick her. That's not because she isn't good, but because they knew she would cost a lot in free agency and wanted to save money for other players. Here's where it gets interesting for Indiana. The LA Sparks are clearly building around Cameron Brink. When you draft someone that high, you plan to make them your main player. So their frontcourt is already set, and there's no clear starting role left for Stevens. That leaves Stevens with a choice. She can stay in Los Angeles, earn less, and come off the bench for a rebuilding team that might not make the playoff, or she can join the Indiana Fever, play with one of the biggest stars in women's basketball, and compete for a championship right away.
She can get hot, she can defend it, she can rebound it, she can shoot it, and she does not have to be ball dominant. She does not have to be the focal point. I'm just glad that, hey, look, you see what's going on, Azure. You see what's going on over here, Azure. The whole world will be watching. You want you entering your prime at 30. You in your prime. You want the world watching you? Or do you want to go over there to Dallas where nobody's watching? They can't even sell out the gyms. You playing in empty gyms. You could come play every game sold out, home and away. Caitlin Clark, best show in sports. You going to do that? Or you going to turn that down to go somewhere where nobody's going to watch you, where your WNBA career will fade into abyss?
Let's be clear, Indiana is offering more than just basketball. Last season, the Indiana Fever had the highest attendance in the WNBA, with over 17,000 fans per game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. They sold out every home game, and even their away games were packed. If Azura Stevens joins Indiana, she would go from playing in front of about 8,000 fans in Los Angeles to full arenas every night. That's not just about energy, it means more visibility, more endorsement deals, and better career opportunities. Stevens is 30 years old and entering her prime. This is the perfect time for her to take advantage of the Caitlin Clark effect while also building a strong championship resume. Now compare that to Dallas, another team that might try to sign her. The Wings had much lower attendance last season and are currently rebuilding after trading Satu Sabauli. They may have more salary cap space, but they don't have a superstar like Clark or strong expectations to win soon. If Stevens joins Dallas, she would be on a team hoping to compete in a few years, not right away. So financially, it's simple. Dallas or Toronto might offer more salary up front, but Indiana offers more overall value through endorsements, playoff bonuses, exposure, and long-term career growth.
Combat. Look, it's going to be so many moving parts, okay? Skylar Diggins and them aren't going back to Seattle. It's going to be so many moving parts. Indiana, you got to make your moves. Make your next move your best move. Get it done. Make your next move your best move. Get it done. Let's go, man. I want Azure Stevens. She's interested. I don't trust this front office, but I'm hoping y'all can prove me wrong. Kelly Crosskoff, Amber Cox, Stephanie White. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, man. Let's keep the vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Here's how it would look on the court, and this is where it gets really exciting. Imagine this starting lineup: Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Azura Stevens, and Aaliyah Boston. That gives you 3 real three-point shooters around Clark and Boston, plus a defense that can switch across most positions while Boston protects the rim. Now picture a simple pick-and-roll with Clark and Boston. Defenders have to step up hard on Clark, or she'll shoot from deep range. If they double-team her, she can pass to Boston in the middle or swing the ball to Stevens in the corner. If Stevens' defender helps inside, she's left wide open for a 3. If they stay on her, Boston gets an easy finish at the rim. You can also run plays with Clark using a screen from Stevens. Stevens can pop out for a 3, roll to the basket, or pass from the high post. And she's not just a shooter, she averaged 2 assists per game last season, which is very good for a big player. She can pass well, attack defenders who close out too hard, and take advantage of smaller players in the post.
She's interested. I don't trust this front office, but I'm hoping y'all can prove me wrong. Kelly Crosskoff, Amber Cox, Stephanie White. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think, man. Let's keep the vision. Make sure you like, comment.
Here's the simple breakdown of why Azura Stevens is exactly what the Indiana Fever need and why the front office should do everything possible to sign her. Stevens doesn't need the ball to be effective. She can stay engaged without dominating possessions, making her perfect for a team with a clear offensive hierarchy. Clark as the primary option, Mitchell as the secondary scorer, and Boston as the pick-and-roll hub. Stevens brings spacing, rebounding, switchable defense, and passing ability without disrupting the offense. Last season, she grabbed 8 rebounds per game with the Sparks. Pair her with Boston, and suddenly the Fever have 2 strong rebounders instead of relying on Boston for everything. Her defensive versatility allows Stephanie White to run schemes that switch 1 through 4 while keeping Boston anchored at the rim. Suddenly, you have a playoff-caliber defense. Consider the matchup against Atlanta. With Angel Reese, Alicia Gray, and Rhyne Howard, the Dream have a big, physical frontcourt. If Indiana runs out Natasha Howard at the 4, they get out-rebounded and struggle to space the floor. With Stevens, it's a legitimate battle. She can match Reese's size, shoot over her when she helps on drives, and punish her in pick-and-pop situations. Chemistry is seamless. Stevens has experience playing with elite point guards, like Courtney Vandersloot, so she knows how to play off a primary ball handler, set screens, and move for kickouts. No learning curve, she can plug in immediately. The contract situation is tricky but crucial. Indiana can't overpay and risk future flexibility, but they also can't lowball Stevens and lose her to Dallas or Toronto. A starting stretch 4 likely costs $110,000 to $190,000, which is more than Natasha Howard but less than max money. Indiana should make a strong, competitive opening offer immediately to show they're serious. Yes, the salary cap is tight. The Fever are trying to re-sign Mitchell, keep Boston, and plan for Clark's second contract. But this is a championship window, not a rebuild. The priority is clear: maximize Clark's rookie contract years by surrounding her with the best talent. Stevens upgrades the 4 immediately, frees up spacing, and improves defense. Howard, as much as she contributed, doesn't fit this vision. The WNBA is evolving, expansion teams are coming, TV deals are increasing, and the talent pool is deeper than ever. The Fever have maybe 3 years before Clark commands max money, limiting flexibility. They can't waste this window with a roster that doesn't fit. Stevens posting those social media hints isn't a joke. She wants Indiana. The message is simple: make the competitive offer now. Upgrade the roster immediately. Surround Clark and Boston the right way. Let Stevens play in front of sold-out crowds, compete for championships, and maximize her legacy. This is a move that separates contenders from pretenders. If Stevens ends up elsewhere, the Fever will spend the next 3 years wondering what could have been. It's time to act. Get Azura Stevens. Build around Clark and Boston. Make this team a true championship contender. Do you think Stevens will actually sign with Indiana, or is this just social media hype?